So I am Dungeon Master Rick, where tonight I will be the keeper and also the player, the investigator, as we are playing Alone Against the Flames, which is a free Solo Cthulhu adventure. You can find it on the Chaosium website. It's not sponsored, but it seems interesting so far. I've not read very far ahead, just far enough to see if I could include this into our homebrew world, and that's kind of what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to try and improv it on the fly a little bit. Okay. So one of the things I really like about this is that you don't have to have a character pre-made. It's actually designed to be like beginner friendly. That it will build your character as you go through. There's no expectation of having anything pre-built. So I am going to be playing a character that I've already named him. His name's Myron. But this will be more or less set in our homebrew world of New Alexandria. So let's see, what else did I need? I think that was it. Yeah, all right. So it is kind of set up like a choose your own adventure book, and so I'll be reading off some of this stuff and trying to maybe improv some things as I go along. Okay, so our first entry. The sun is high in the sky, a merciless ball of heat. You feel scorched by the time that you you feel scorched by the time that you reach your destination. It's a relief to put down your heavy luggage. Take off your hat for a moment. You fan your face. It's been a long summer here in your hometown, yet a curiously empty one. You look across the street at the grubby butcher shop, the grocer's with its faded awning. Mistrustful faces glare at you as they pass, eyeing your clothes and luggage. It was your parents' choice to live here, not yours. You were happy as a child, back before you moved here. Perhaps this new job will supply the change you need. Yet everyone you know in the world lives here. You know no one in the capital where you're going. Not a soul. You ask yourself one last time if you're doing the right thing. The answer is here. None of your supposed friends have come to see you. You're alone. Whatever challenges lie ahead, it'll be a new life, and a brave one. Let's see. So, the original setting for this was in the 1920s, and since our world, yeah, Ren, I think from what I've read, it seems like you pretty well create the full character, which is pretty cool. We'll find out. I haven't read far enough to really know. I just kind of read a little bit of the scenario, but yeah. So since this was originally written to be set in the 1920s, and New Alexandria is, ancient Greece, or well, ancient Greek-ish, some of the stuff will take me a second to kind of come up with some alternatives to it. So as you wait by the dock, a small ship approaches and rattles to a stop. You put your hat back on and pick up your cases. Two young men with sullen expressions alight from the ship. One looks you up and down before heading away. The captain also steps down, glaring at you, before crossing the road to visit the shops. When he returns, we're just gonna... Okay. So when he returns, He is rolling something between his yellowed fingers. He gives it a final twist and reaches for his matchbox. He's a thin man in his 50s, dressed in stained clothes, yet his eyes are sharp in their dark sockets. Where to? You show him your ticket, and from there you will make your way down the coast to the capital, Finian. You should be able to afford some faster travel for at least most of the way, but you know that you may not be able to take the ships the whole way there. You may have to take the long route. The driver scratches and lights what it is that he was rolling. The end flares as he takes a draw. He then exhales and gestures to the back of the ship. You can put your things there. Okay. So real quick, now this is so this is where I'm going to be creating the character. So for just a second, I'm going to be reading and filling in some stuff. So it says, look at your investigator sheet. At the top, you have spaces for the characteristics. If you're not familiar with Cthulhu, there's strength, constitution, power, dexterity, appearance, size, intelligence, and education. It gives you some values to add in there, kind of like the standard array in D&D. And so I'm just going to fill that out real quick. And I'll kind of explain what I'm doing as I do it. So he's not super strong, I wouldn't imagine, so I'm going to put my 40 in there. Let's see, then I've got 3 50s, 2 60s, a 70, and an 80. Okay, so we've got our strength of 40. I think we're going to do 50 for our con. It's not super big, so I'm going to do a 50 for that. Let's see. Appearance. I'm also going to put a 50. Rune, I know you're a little bit more familiar with Cthulhu. You might have a better idea. It's not something that's come up so far in the one time that I've played, so I don't really know what that contributes to. So we're just going to take a guess at that. Let's see. Okay, so then we have our dexterity. Put one of our 60s. Another 60, 70, and 80. So we're going to put our other 60 into power, our 70 into intelligence, and our 80 into education. He's not a very strong, very large guy at all, but he is pretty intelligent, decently intelligent, I would say, and pretty well educated. So yeah, I will try for next time to have it set up where you guys can see. Oh, Rune, it was appearance. Okay. One thing I will say about the Alone Against the Flames, at least, I haven't looked at the others, When you are doing the PDF version, which I normally don't like, there's a handy little thing where you can just click on the number where it says go to, this number. And so you don't have to scroll back and forth all day. Unless, if you're trying to go backwards. All right. So, the captain smokes and watches as you drag your luggage into the back of the ship. Unfortunately, the rack to place your things is inconveniently high. You get a grip on the heavier bits of luggage. It says if your size is 40, go to 23. If your size is higher than this, go to 38. And, my size I had put 50, so go to 38. The driver continues to smoke and watch you with keen interest as you struggle with your cases. You grit your teeth and heave them into place. Perhaps in the capital, people will have better manners. Okay. The driver flicks what he was smoking into the distance and steps on board. The ship begins to take sail as they unmoor from the docks. You board, grateful that you will be the only passenger for the initial part of the trip at least. With mixed emotions, you watch as the tired avenues of your old home slip behind you, receding into the distance. For a few minutes, you can still see the very top of the taller building. Just, a little bit of the temple as you fade off into the distance. And the road dips too, and it's gone. The Fanian is your new home. You'll travel there, make a new start. Okay, so we've got some non-narration stuff. So you will see 2 smaller boxes to the right of each characteristic value. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's just saying, kind of explaining the mechanics here, that you've got your half and then your, I think, quarter, I believe is what it was. Something like that. Yeah, so if I was doing this pen and paper style, I would have to do some math. Thankfully, the PDF does the math for me. I'm not a math guy, so that is fantastic. Ah, 1/5, thank you. Okay. And then in the strip below that, you will see tracks that record sanity and magic points. Beginning sanity is equal to your original power, and beginning magic points are the same as the value you've just assigned for power divided by 5. So, let me see if it's already filled that in. Yep, looks like, or not power, sanity is, and I don't know if this character has magic points. They probably do. I'm just not seeing it. Looks like it auto-filled though, so that'll be handy. Okay. The ship sails along the countryside. At first, you feel stifled by the heat. Your stomach lurches with every bump of the waves. However, over time, you find that a cool breeze starts to blow. It makes you feel a little bit more relaxed. And you can observe the quaint little hamlets as you pass by. A heavy-set woman boards at one town, gives a polite nod, and she gets off at the next one. As you travel on, you pass fields. You pass fields of grain and orchards. The leaves are turning, and the trees are alive with glorious reds and golds. You have just begun to doze when the captain takes a sharp turn at speed. Okay. So we've got some more non-narration stuff. Add size and con together, then divide by 10. Rounding down, this is the starting value for max hit points. Cool, it already did that, I saw that. And my luck score, I don't think it auto did that because you have to roll for that one. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Found it. I should also mention, I'm using the Cthulhu Invictus character sheet, because the Invictus it's Roman, but it's a little bit more time period appropriate. Let's see. I'm going to be doing some virtual dice again. So, for luck, we roll 3d6 multiply by 5, sorry. Helps if I can read. So that is a 4 total. So, not amazing. Okay. Okay, so this will be the first actual roll of the game, like a real has in-game consequences if this goes poorly. So I roll 1d100. Let's see here. And I'm rolling a dex save, which my dex is 60. Oh, I'm not used to this virtual dice roller for anything other than the d6s. Yeah, so that is a 20, which is a pretty crappy roll. Let's see. So, just for the sake of anyone who may not have played this before, if you roll equal to your dex or less, you pass the roll. Oh wait, I forgot. No, lower is better in Cthulhu. Yeah. If you rolled equal to your dex or less, you pass the roll. If you rolled greater than your dex, you failed the roll. And it does say you may be tempted to skip such rolls and simply pretend you always pass, but Call of Cthulhu is a game of mystery and horror. The terrible disasters that can befall your character are part of the fun. You will not necessarily have more fun if you pass every roll than if you would have failed. And so, I believe I passed that. Let me look at my character sheet. I mean, actually, I know I passed it. I was just going to see. Yeah, that's pretty good success because that's less than half of my ability score. So, passed it. Go to the next one. A desperate yell awakens you. You feel yourself slide as the captain spins the wheel, and the ship begins to wildly just make this sharp turn. You grab hold of anything nearby just in time to prevent yourself from falling painfully. The ship stops. Now you can see what happened. Something with the rigging has gone wrong, and we'll have to make our way to the shore, the captain says. Let's see. You take a moment to catch your breath. Perhaps you should offer assistance. But the captain has already begun making his way towards the shore. And as he makes his way, he just curses the luck that his ship would fall apart like this. After some delay, you're able to resume your journey once the ship is able to be repaired. The captain takes more caution than previously. He glances over his shoulder at you a couple of times. Sorry about before, he says. What was your name? I'm Silas. I'm Myron. Wouldn't say it's been a pleasure to meet you, but it's been something. Let's see. Well, it doesn't seem true to antagonize the man while he's driving you, or not driving, sorry, while he's taking you through the middle of the ocean. Probably not a great time. But, I've never been one to make the best decisions, especially in a role-playing game. Yeah, and now it says, make up a name for your character and record it on your investigator sheet. You may add your age for purposes of the adventure. It says your character should probably be aged between 23 and 36. So we'll go right at 23. And as I said, my character will be Myron. As the captain continues on, the sea becomes calmer, and he begins to chat with you. Going to the capital, eh? Let's see. Yeah, I've been there. There's too much hustle and bustle. You got family there? Special someone waiting? The afternoon is wearing on. You see no harm in confiding. In Silas about your new life. Yeah, I've got a job there. A job, eh? What's your line? Which I assume it means line of work. Let's see. So I can choose an occupation. Oh, crap. Choose an occupation. I'm gonna go. So my choices are antiquarian, doctor of medicine, journalist, private investigator, and professor. Which, being an ancient Greek-ish setting, obviously journalist is a little sketchy, but more or less the rest of the stuff exists. I think we can make it work, so I'm going to go with antiquarian. Also, full disclosure, I did not make it this far whenever I was kind of skimming through, so now I am fully just winging this. So, you mentioned the assistant's position you were offered at a rare books and maps shop. On the strength of a recommendation by a distant friend of the family. Thinking about the treasures that must pass through that shop, return some of the excitement you felt when you received the letter of appointment. You feel a tingle in your palms, and you cannot wait to get started. Books, eh? Scrolls, in this case, I suppose. Settles takes the conversation no further. You get the feeling he's not much of a reader. Okay, so here it just gives me a little bit of info to go ahead and fill in, which my occupation skills are praise, art and craft, which I specify a particular field, history, library use, other language, and spot. Okay. So now we've got praise, art and craft, history, library use, other language, and spot. Interesting that they don't seem to have history in Invictus. They do have library use, so check that one. Yep, we're just going to put that in another blank spot. Oh, I've got some more. Cool. Well, spot hidden. Let me see. Got spot hidden. And either one of charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade. I think I'm gonna go with fast talk. Okay, so then I get to allocate some percentages among these skills. So we've got a 70, 60, 60, 50. It's the same thing as before. More or less, just minus the 80. I think I'm going to go 70 for appraise. Art and craft is going to be a 60. Fast talk's probably a 60. Let me see. Library use, I would imagine, is also a 60. Oh, shoot. I've only got 2 60s. We're going to make fast talk. We're actually going to make that a 40. Okay. Spot hidden. Can do all my 40s there. History, we're going to make a 50. I think I only have one of those, right? Nope, I've got 3 50s. Okay. Oh, and then I can also pick one other skill other than Cthulhu Mythos. That's a tough one. I do not know. I guess I'm going to do science. Do my other 50 there. Okay. Moving on. You realize Silas hasn't made a stop since the incident with the tractor. Sorry. Got into the reading. You realize that Silas hasn't made a stop since the incident with the sale. However, your thoughts are interrupted as you are treated to a magnificent view. You see a valley as you are passing by, breaking the rich autumn palette of the tree line. In the distance, the mountains rise into a hazy cloud. There is no settlement, not even a cabin, as far as the eye can see. Birds drift through the treetops. And do something. Birds drift through the treetops, and you can just make out what might be a deer lingering by the water. Perhaps you're making a mistake by moving to the city. Could you survive on your own in this lush wilderness? You have a base ability and most skills listed in brackets after the skill name on your investigator sheet. For instance, you have 20% in climb and a base dodge skill equal to half your dex. Okay, so then I choose 4 skills that are not my occupational skills. These are my personal interest skills. I'll boost each of these by 20. Okay. So we're going to pick civics. I'm going to do empire. Probably insight. I think I'm going to do my own language. I may change that later. We'll see if it tells me that I have to change it. Okay. The ship sails on, and Silas lapses into silence. The sky darkens behind you, pinks tinting the clouds as the sun descends. Finally, a welcome sight comes into view. A settlement on the crest of a hill. This doesn't look like what you've heard it would look like. But perhaps you can persuade Silas to stop while you stretch your legs. Minutes later, he begins to curse again. Silas frowns and fiddles with the rigging. Silas utters a curse you don't recognize and grinds his teeth, struggling with the ship. You seem to slowly make your way towards the settlement until you reach the first buildings, low dwellings constructed from a rough red stone. Silas manages to pull the ship into the small bay and scrambles from his seat. Let's see. Okay, so here, if I was doing the 1920s setting, it says you must now choose to make a roll against Drive Auto or Psychology. If you choose Psychology, you will need a hard success, which is the 1/5. Yeah, we're going to go with Psychology, if that's an option for me. It is not on Invictus. That's frustrating. Okay. Let's see. Rune, I don't see pilot on here. Oh, there's pilot boat. Yep. It's frustrating, though, that it does not have Psychology. I realize Psychology didn't formally exist at that point in time. Let's see. So I'm just going to... Yeah, I guess I'm going to try to pilot boat, which The odds of this working are very bad. I have a 1% on it. Yeah, good call. Thank you, Rin. I forgot that's an option to just do intelligence. Let's see. Yikes. It's a 93. Did not pass that one. Okay. On a fail. Okay. Silas continues to fiddle with the ship and seems to be struggling. I ain't sure what's wrong. Might be something knocked off whenever we took that hard turn before. Can't do much right now, especially with the light failing. I reckon we'll be here through the night. The shadows from your surroundings are already long, and the air turns chilly. You feel stiff from your journey, and the night sitting on board the ship sounds unappealing. Silas sees your dismay. This here's Paralia, miles from any place. I only come through twice a week, but the folks here are good people. There should be a spare room. I'll ask one of my friends. She'll look after you. Up that alley, turn right, first house on the left. He scratches his cheek, looks again at the ship in bewilderment, and spits on the ground. Meet me back here in the morning, and we'll see how we stand. Okay. So it gives me 3 options. To look for the house, to ask Silas where he will spend the night, and to challenge Silas about what's wrong with the ship. I think I'm going to ask where he'll spend the night. He may not have been super talkative, but he kind of opened up a little bit. You ask about Silas's plans. He gives a sour glance at the ship. I've got acquaintances here in the village. Reckon one of them owes me a favor. At least enough for bed and breakfast. He stares at his scrubby hands. Probably won't stretch to a hot bath. You don't seem to have a lot of options. You fetch your things from the back of the ship. The last thing you need is for all of your worldly possessions to disappear. You drag your things between the sullen buildings. You feel surprisingly weary, considering you have spent all day sitting down. Silas's directions lead you to a modest dwelling. The lane around you is gloomy, but light flickers through the window. A breeze chills your face. You're not about to begin your new life by sleeping on the street. You rap on the weather-beaten door. After a moment, you hear footsteps inside the house. A bolt is drawn back, and a wooden door swings open. A figure with loose curls and rough-looking clothing peers at you. Her gaze takes in your traveling attire and luggage. Hello. Should I take it as you're looking for a room for the night? You inquire as to how much she would ask for. A place to stay, suppressing a grimace. As far as you've seen, there are not many alternatives. Oh, you'll find them very reasonable. You look tired. Come on inside and we'll talk. The house feels cramped, with a low ceiling. Darn automatic lights. The Ledbetter house feels cramped, with a low ceiling and simple fittings. But it is well kept, and a cheerful fire crackles. The aroma of food is soothing, and soon A cup warms your fingers. Have you come here for the festival? She asks. Let's see. To explain what happened to Silas and the coach, go there. And to ask about the festival. I think I would be curious. I mean, I'm a pretty intelligent person. Let's see. Well, now, I suppose the festival is about the only reason folks come here. I thought maybe you had come to study it or something of that sort. Well, it's not tomorrow night, but the night after. I suppose it looks very strange to a passerby. Let's see. Okay. She says, we've got the beacon, you see. One night every year, there's a torchlit procession, and we light the beacon on the cliffs. We've never seen the like of it. They say it keeps the spirit of the village alive for another year. It's a celebration. A celebration. She trails off for a moment and blinks. But you didn't come to listen to me blather, and you must be hungry. I can rustle you up some food. How would that be? You ask again about her rates. She names a price so low you accept it without hesitation. The price is small, but comfortable. And the food is dark, but hearty. After dinner, you have a couple of hours before your usual bedtime. Okay. So the options it gives me here to talk to her some more, walk around and get your bearings, or return in for an early night. Honestly, I think Myron's going to turn in early for the night because it did say that he's pretty tired, worn out from the day, and as he got into this town, he felt pretty not so great. As the woman stands, you hear a clunk behind you. You look over your shoulder, but all you can see is a wooden door securely closed. The young lady of the house. She'll have been listening to us. Come out and greet our guest. There's a short pause, and then the door creaks open. Two wide eyes peer at you through the gap, between tousled hair and a rough nightgown. What do you say? Pleased to meet you. Now get back to bed. The door closes again. That's my daughter. 10 years this summer. She's a delight and a torment all in one. Don't worry, she sleeps in with me. She'll not disturb you. Good night now. You retire to your room. It's a little chilly, but you're too tired to worry about lighting the fire. The bedding is clean and soon warms up. The silence outside is strange after living in town for so long, but soon you drop off. And I think that's probably a pretty good place for us to end it for right now. So yeah, for those of you who came by, I appreciate you listening. I'll probably do this a little bit more often, and yeah, I think I should be able to continue doing the on-the-spot kind of homebrew for this. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.